they're somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards.
Always a news year. Western North Carolina strong.
New journey, new chapter, something new each few days
in the new year on News Radio 570 WWNC.
Hey you guys, I'm Catherine Legg. I'm a racing driver who's literally driven everything with 4 wheels across the planet. And I've got a new
opening with Liam Cohen.
Called Throttle Therapy. This season, I'm gearing up competing in some of the world's most notorious racing events. Listen to Throttle Therapy with Catherine Legg on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Throttle Therapy with Catherine Legg and start listening.
Presented by Elf Beauty, founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat for a
Football Friday.
There it is. Hey, look, we only got 2 games this weekend, but still, it's still a football Friday. Of course, it's always a football Friday here in the Sportsocracy. Check us out at thesportsocracy.com. Don't forget to click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat throughout the show today. Anything you want talked about football-wise, feel free to chime that in to the YouTube chat, and we will get to it. Yes, we're going to go all over both of the conference championship games, inside and out, who will move on to the Super Bowl.
I really don't know how we're going to fill 3 hours today because, I mean, frankly, nothing new has happened since we talked to you yesterday.
Nah, not much. Not much going on. Just a couple of new head coaches being announced in the league.
And they're both awful confusing.
Well, let's find out what Jeremy finds confusing about either of these. First up, Liam Cohen. He is now the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. After he pulled his name out of consideration for the job, then they fired Trent Baalke. Then Liam decided, well, I'm going to go back to the Bucs, and I'm going to take one of the richest assistant contracts in the NFL. Problem is he never signed it, and then he decided to go to Jacksonville, take the head coaching job there anyway after they fired Trent Baalke.
So I'm gonna tell you a little story about how yesterday went. Not for Liam Cohen, for me.
Okay.
So we did the show yesterday. I've been working on the website, NFLdraft.net. I have been talking to people around the league ahead of the Senior Bowl, just coordinating, some guys that I'm that I'm planning on getting drinks with or dinner or whatever the case may be. So I was on a conference call yesterday at, I'll say it was 4-ish, sometime in the 4s. And we're just, yucking it up as a bunch of old football dudes do. And a total aside was said of, has anybody heard this story about Liam Cohen? Whatever do you mean? Well, he still hasn't signed that deal with Tampa Bay, and apparently they can't find him. Excuse me? Come again for Judge Fudge? Then it just all came tumbling after. I don't know that I've ever in my life seen a situation as weird as that. And if you recall yesterday when we talked about this, Bradley Presley points this out in the YouTube comments. He said, Liam Cohen must have heard y'all talking Tuesday about going back to Tampa Bay not being the best move for him. Unfortunately, he missed yesterday about how Jacksonville is the worst place for anyone. Yeah. I started making calls. I wanted information, as much information as I could get. Apparently, there was no specific edict of you have to fire Trent Baalke for me to take this job. That was never explicitly said. Mm-hmm. Apparently, what was said is I'm not going to take this job because Trent Baalke is here. Which Shad Khan, being the wealthy man that he is, heard as, if you give me a boatload of money and fire Trent Baalke and allow me to name the next new GM. Seriously, he's the one picking the next GM.
Yep.
As a first-time head coach that was a coordinator for a year. Stop. That's what Shad Khan heard. So he unilaterally fired Trent Baalke. Didn't allegedly, and I will say allegedly because I have not confirmed this, but I've been told this twice. He didn't tell anybody in the organization what he was getting ready to do. He put out a press release that he sent to Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, and a handful of others. The people in the building found out Trent Baalke was fired from Adam Schefter. Come again? You care to run that by me one more time? The New York Jets called and said, that's a little dysfunctional. Oh, wait, they did the same thing. Never mind.
Yeah.
Then, after Liam Cohen finds out about it, he goes, I wish you'd done that a couple days ago. And the phone rings. And he says, how about now? What do you think about me now, Liam? And they constructed this elaborate idea that they were going to sneak him out of Tampa Bay, get him up there to negotiate this whilst he ghosted the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's like something out of Ocean's 11.
No, it's not.
Oh, 100%. This is not how you conduct business in this league. 100%. This is not how you conduct business in this league.
Okay.
Oh, all right, so name me the time you've ever seen something like this happen.
In the NFL, I've never seen it happen.
Exactly.
But it happens every day in the private sector. Every day. People constantly lie to their bosses and tell them they're going somewhere else while they're interviewing for another job. You don't let them know that you're looking for another job. Hell, in this place, they knew it.
Yep. You know what the difference between the private sector and the NFL is? There's 32 jobs here, bruh. There's no new startup. There's no tech firm for you to wind up with. There's 32 jobs.
Yep.
And you know what everybody in this league has? Friends. They all have friends. And they're all 7 degrees of separation, the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, and a lot of them tie back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you know what I'm hearing a lot of today?
What's that?
It's the same phrase, just said different ways, so I've pared it down. This damn well better work for Liam Cohen. Because if it doesn't, he may end up as the offensive coordinator at Bowling Green by the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just burned bridges that will not be unburned.
Sure. I mean, there are people all over this league, GMs and such all over the league that are not going to want to deal with a guy that would do you like this. I get it.
I also can't wait for draft day when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock and Jacksonville's sitting there going, man, I'd really like to trade up here. Call them. Just call them. Maybe they'll take our call. Send them a fruit basket. You know what? Send them an edible arrangement with a card that says sorry. Maybe if we say it Canadian, they'll forgive us.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay answers the phone. New phone, who it is, and hangs up.
Not a chance.
There are teams in this league that other teams flat out won't deal with. Most of them are in the same division. This is going to be a weird one in that now you've got almost a low-key in-state rivalry between the Bucs and the Jags. And I won't be shocked if they just refuse to do business with Jacksonville moving forward.
Yep. Liam Cohen took a huge swing on this, doing it the way he did. No doubt there are going to be hurt feelings. There's going to be bridges burned. I mean, I get it. But I also understand why he did it. Because, again, being a part of that club is worth it to some guys. This is what I've worked for my entire life. I would have taken this job had Trent Baalke not been around. I explicitly told them that. And Shad Khan met my demands, basically. I don't care how much Tampa Bay was paying me. I'm not going back to being an OC when I could be an HC somewhere. I get that mindset. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I understand it. But, yeah, I agree with you. You better hope this works. Because there will be people that will not forget.
Well, there's another layer of this that I haven't heard anybody say. How do you think he's going to fill out this staff? Because what do you think the first thing Tampa Bay did this morning was? They started looking at the position coaches going, we'll give you a pay bump if you don't take his call.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I can't tell you this is how it's going to go, but the top in-house candidate is Thad Lewis to be the new OC in Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I can't tell you that they hire off the in-house staff, but that's the name I keep hearing today.
Okay.
I'll guarantee you they called him this morning and said, we'll give you a $100,000 raise if you don't answer his phone call. Because
I'll give you what I was going to give him. Right? You want to be one of the highest paid OCs in the league? I'll give you what.
Yeah, you're not going to do that. That would be reactionary and really stupid. If you're going to do that, you go heavy like big game hunting for a coordinator. The bad thing is that the name that immediately came to my mind was Daly, the tight end coach in LA, and I'm pretty confident he's going to end up being the OC of the Jets. You're not going to overpay these guys, but you will pay for loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Liam Cohen's 2 years older than I am. So it's not like he's got he doesn't have a deep Rolodex. It's not like the guy we're going to talk about at the bottom of the hour. Pete Carroll can literally just open his cell phone and go, yeah, I can build a staff from that in 5 minutes. I think it's so weird. Do you like the hire?
Yeah.
He was your OC, so you can talk about him probably even better than I can.
I do like the hire because, I mean, whatever he's doing, right, it worked. Tampa was a top 5 offense this year with Baker Mayfield as your quarterback. You know, regardless of where you want to put the ownership on the Baker Mayfield turnaround. You want to put that on Dave Canales? Okay. Well, Dave Canales left, and Baker got better. Maybe that's not Liam's thing, but, I mean, the stats will tell you that's what happened. So, I mean, I like it for Jacksonville, the fact that you got a guy who was leader of one of the top offenses in the NFL. He's a young guy. He comes off that Sean McVay tree, so maybe you're hoping that he pulls in some friends from that, although that's getting thin. Like he wasn't around long enough to build a whole lot of relationships.
Well, and that's another thing that's been consistently said about Liam Cohen. Have you ever looked at his trek around the football world?
It ain't lasted long anywhere.
What's the longest he's been any one place?
I'd say 2 years at most. 3 years maybe.
So he started at Brown. He was at Brown for a year. Then he went to Rhode Island for a year. Then he was at Brown for 2 years. Then he was at UMass for 2 years. Then he was at Maine for 2 years. Then he was with the Rams for 3 years. Then he was at Kentucky for a year. Then he went to the Rams for a year. Then he went back to Kentucky for a year. Then he was with the Bucs for 2 years, and now he's with the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Or no, he was with the Bucs for a year. Sorry, Wikipedia did a weird thing with their timing of since he said he was going to come back, they allotted him 25.
Right. He's a climber. Right, he looks for the next big opportunity.
In NFL circles, we call those nomads.
Nomads, yeah, okay.
Because they're terrifying to get into bed with, because you always know that they're never going to stop looking. Mm-hmm. So just because he's the head coach of the Jags doesn't necessarily mean that he sees that as his forever home. And I know that sounds weird to say about a head coaching job in the NFL. I could, without getting too deep into this, there have been a few guys over the course of time that they were just never satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
And it can get a little uncomfortable in those buildings. It's also really hard for guys to tie themselves to him staff-wise, because those guys tend to be really quick triggered when they're the ones making the call.
Mm-hmm. It's his chance to climb to the very top of the ladder. And when you have somebody that's going to roll out the red carpet for you, which now he feels like, right? He feels like he won, which I would say he did. And he goes in, lays out the case, says, I want to be your coach, but I don't want to be here if that guy's here. He turns him down, goes back, gets a counter offer from his team, verbally agrees to it, and then Jacksonville did what they had to do to get that guy in the building. I don't know how Liam Cohen's going to work out as a long-term coach in this league. Granted, I only got to see him be a coach for a year for my team. He is a bit of a nomad. But who really expects this to last that long?
It's a kind of a clunky hire for me. Just the whole thing is weird. But in the next segment, we're going to talk about a little more about Liam Cohen. But we have 2 super chats that we need to get to before we go into the commercial break.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
The first one's from our buddy Red C, who said, this better work out for Cohen. Man, luckily, he took one of the best, most stable jobs on the
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Are they great big losers? Historically, yes. Yes, they are. You're not the first person to comment that, but I do think that's the funniest way that I have heard it commented. And now, Tank, we have the very rare back-to-back super chat breaking news.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This one's from our buddy Soaring Eagle, and it has to do with my Jets, Jets. Breaking news from me to you, Jeremy. The New York Jets are hiring Broncos assistant GM Darren Moogie? I'm not real sure how to pronounce his last name. As their new GM.
Mowgli. He was in the Jungle Book. I remember that guy.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I thought you were actually telling me that, and I went, there's no L in his name. And that was first reported by Josina Anderson. And it's from, I don't know that that's done, but the Jets GM job has been very strange because it's been 3 leaders in the clubhouse in 3 days, which is odd.
I just typed it into Google. I just typed his name in and suggested links. Muggsy Bogues. No,
Sweet.
Google. No, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, as somebody that's using AI to build a draft website right now to give me formatted things, if you're worried about AI taking your job, you should not be, unless you really suck at your job. Because AI is accurate about 43% of the time.
Right.
So the Jets have hired, it does appear that they've hired Darren Mugie, or however you say his name. I will go down the rabbit hole and see if I can confirm this in the commercial break.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville on a Football Friday. We'll be right back.
Joe Montana here.
And we're clear.
The importance of a strong
Darren
defense.
Mugie was the
Now,
one name
I'm
that I
showing
had
how
been
you
told
can
was
help
not
defend
getting
your
this
health
job.
against pneumococcal
Because Aaron Glenn worked with Lance Newmark in Detroit.
The CDC
Him and Trey Brown are really good friends.
Pneumococcal disease.
This is the arranged marriage. This is the one that doesn't make really any
6
sense.
times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
But he is a young guy and very well thought of, I believe.
Vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear.
Listen here, Moogie.
Many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where...
That sounds like a racism. It makes me feel weird. I'm not going to call him that anymore.
Carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
After 30 years of doing knee and hip replacements, Dr. Mitchell Shinecup thought there had to be a better way, and that led him to regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it.
Now, after 20 years of successful orthobiologic treatments, lots of clinical data, research, and teaching, Dr. Shinecup is National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
They've done an amazing job of becoming the most significant orthobiologic and regenerative medicine practice in the United States. QC is so far ahead of the game in its science, its protocols, its people, its facilities.
So if you have chronic pain from arthritis and you want to avoid drugs and surgery, call the experts in this revolutionary field, QC Kinetics.
To give patients real lasting relief from pain, that's what I live for. That's my mission.
Get your free consultation now. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work. Specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. I've confirmed, Jeremy. It is Moogie. His name is Moogie.
Well, his nickname is Mooj. He also will be the next GM of the Jets, and he might be the biggest GM I've ever seen in my life. He's 6'6", 230.
That's a BDD.
Yeah, when we see him at the Combine, I swear to God, the first thing I say to him is going to be, "You're the first NFL GM that's ever made me feel whittle."
That's a big old dude right there. Okay. What was his first name?
Darren.
Darren Moogie.
So I found the connection too. So there actually is a connection to Aaron Glenn. So Sean Payton and Aaron Glenn are very, very close. Payton was the first one that really gave him a shot on staff with the Saints. They still talk a lot. And apparently, Sean Payton told him, this is the guy you want. Friendships be damned, this is the guy you want. And apparently Aaron Glenn took it to heart. This was Aaron Glenn's decision.
Okay, so Darren Moogie comes to New York by way of Sean Payton.
Yes, the text I just got said that Jets brass was comfortable with Lance Newmark, with Trey Brown, with Darren Moogie, all three. And they really gave the deciding vote to Aaron Glenn. Who do you want to work with?
Yep.
Which, look, in most situations, I would not be okay with that. With the situation of Aaron Glenn, where this just kind of feels like it either has to work or you're about to become the 1999 Detroit Lions. I understand going all in on a coach that you really wanted, that really wants to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I understand given the coach, I don't want to say like final say, but, get him on board. Make sure that he's good with this is the guy that you can work with this guy, right? You don't want to have that button heads kind of thing.
From the way it sounded, they did not give him they gave him three choices and said, you can pick from these three. These are the three we vetted. These are the three we're comfortable with. We're okay either way. Which one are you the most comfortable with?
That's a good way to do it.
I agree. Especially when they've had arranged marriages so many times that worked out terribly.
No doubt. I do not like situations like Jacksonville. Right, Liam Cohen gets to pick his own GM now. I mean, it's probably any decision that he makes will probably be better than any decision that Shad Khan would make. But still, that's a lot. We talked about this a lot 2 years ago when Byron Leftwich did this. Is that the kind of power that you give a first-year GM or a first-year head coach?
Depends on if you have to. Jacksonville, I feel like had to.
Now. Well, of course they did. After the Leftwich scenario, they didn't want that playing out again, and I think that stuck in their mind. And I don't think I don't think there was any discussion about it. Obviously, what was it you said that Shad Khan apparently just acted on his own?
He went off book a little bit from the way it looks.
But there wasn't a big consideration of, what happened to Leftwich after that? No, all I see is we're being told no because of this guy. Apparently that guy is the problem. And I get to how we got to this point. I just wouldn't hand the keys to a brand new head coach unless he had been around for a long, long time.
Well, to me, and this is
the case with Liam.
Well, and my take on this is going to sound a little hypocritical because I'm okay with the fact that the Jets hired the coach first and then gave the coach input on the GM. And it's going to sound hypocritical that I don't love the fact they're handing this to Liam Cohen. There's just a difference. The difference is the Jets did a unilateral search. They became okay with three guys. It just so happened that it was three guys that had ties to Aaron Glenn. By the way, the more I'm finding out, the more I'm realizing the Jets head coaching search was always ending one way. I didn't know that, but I've learned that in the last 24 hours. It was Aaron Glenn, and it was always going to be Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
Now Jacksonville, is basically handing Liam Cohen keys to the castle saying, hey, go find your own GM. You're running point on this, and that makes me very uneasy.
It should. Because that means, there were football people, allegedly, involved in the decision in New York. Not saying Liam's not a football person. But there is a difference between handing a guy 3 candidates and just letting a guy go, hey, why don't you bring us some candidates and we'll see.
Well, there were a ton of football guys involved in all the decisions in New York. Mike Tannenbaum, Rick Spielman. These are just the names that I know had a direct hand in this. Rick Spielman, Mike Tannenbaum, Bill Parcells, Sean Payton. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Bill Belichick talked to him at one point, but I don't think he had anything to do with how it ended up. Yeah, that's 4 people with a pretty significant track record. So Jacksonville, it feels like Shad Khan is doing every bit of this unilaterally.
Yes.
We have a super chat and a couple other chats that I would like to highlight just because they're really good points.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
From Red Sea, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Sounds like a Jets move to me. It made more sense as I went down the rabbit hole. I heard yesterday it was going to be Trey Brown, so I'm not going to lie. I didn't vet Mooj to the point that maybe I should have. But now I see the once the Sean Payton connection was pointed out to me, okay, I get it. Aaron thinks that the sun rises and sets with Bill Parcells and Sean Payton. So
which the more you explain it and the more you give justification for it, that makes it less of a Jet move. That was the point of the post.
The less involvement Woody Johnson had in it.
Any sense? Perfect. Jets all the way. They did it.
The less involvement that Woody Johnson had in anything, the better. I wouldn't trust him. I could hand him a 5-item grocery list and tell him to go to my local Ingles supermarket. Low prices, love the savings. Which has great large aisles that are very easy to navigate. And I still think he would somehow find a way to screw up my shopping list. That's how little I trust Woody Johnson. Yep. So I'm good with that. The 2 comments that I wanted to highlight were Andreas Pinckney said, I hope Aaron Glenn does well. He's a stand-up guy. And I have lost the other one. Also,
I want to read one.
Go ahead.
Gambit fan says, during the vetting of Nathaniel Hackett as the Broncos head coach, Moogie was apparently the loudest voice in the room saying that they should take Hackett's college roommate instead.
Hey.
Hire anybody except for this dude.
Hire the cleaning lady. I don't care. Just don't let it be him. I like him already.
Oh, Kevin O'Connell was that roommate. Kevin O'Connell was Hackett's roommate in college, so he was saying, we need to hire that guy. Oh, look, he was smart. Maybe this will work out for the Jets.
I like him already. And he's a BDD, which Joe Douglas was too, and that's the only Jets GM I've ever liked. So we're off to a good start.
Yeah. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Winter finally
Mooj, I believe this is the start of a beautiful fridge.
U.S. going north now, a little bit of a breeze, and still cold today, but 35 is better. Partial sunshine. Tonight we'll dip into the teens still, so still pretty cold, and then it's the weekend will get better. Mid-40s sunny Saturday, partial sun Sunday, upper 40s, maybe well into the 50s by next week. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored.
So apparently I left my vape in the other room. Skippy brought it in here during that last segment. You don't think he rubbed his wiener on it, do you?
Choose from their spicy or classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. 2 fave items for $7. Gotta be.
I'm thinking about whether or not I should put this in my mouth.
Terms apply.
I mean, I can't tell you what you should do, but I can tell you what my answer would be.
Now account for one of the largest disasters in the history of our country.
Because my answer would be, that is garbage now.
Burn it.
That's garbage now.
Fundraising event.
The Fire
I'm thinking Brandon Rainwater. You put mine right here.
Los Angeles.
Donate today at fireaidla.org.
Join us January 30th.
Listen live to the hit.
We'll give her a little wipe down.
The iHeartRadio app, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Just in case it's got some smeg on it.
People in need in Los Angeles.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done
well under budget.
Read the last two comments
Whatever
in the chat.
you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
For over 40 years, American Electric. Right here in WNC. With 3 generations and over 100 dedicated teammates, they are...
What kind of channel did we tune into today?
American Electric. Visit A-American Electric.
What?
Ingles, we are proud to introduce our all-new curbside service. Just visit shop.ingles.
I don't know, honey. I just turned it on. They're talking about putting stuff in their mouths.
Will bring your groceries right to your car and have you ready to go in no time. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at Parks Community Heroes.
You got to be careful with these things. If you suck them too hard, the juice comes out.
To perform search and rescue operations. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue
Man, I hope your
families
mic's off.
after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville, and this is the Sportsocracy. It's time to get just a bit outside. And Jeremy, okay, look, there's something coming up this weekend in town that I think you might be a little interested in. I know you're hard at work on NFLDraft.net, and you got all the profiles to get through, and there's a mock draft coming up tomorrow, by the way, for anybody who's interested. There will be a live mock draft on the YouTube channel.
Gonna be a mock draft. This one's fun. I did this years ago, but I've never really had a vessel for it. The YouTube channel is a perfect vessel. This is a Senior Bowl mock draft. So I can only select players that are in the 2025 Reese's Senior Bowl. So Jalen Milroe, hey, for once, you'll be a first rounder. Because this is the only way that's happening, at least for me.
Okay.
Then there will be a Q&A through the Patreon after the mock draft. It's a great opportunity to say, hey, if you would like to be involved in this, you should sign up for the Patreon because I'm going to switch them. So we're trying to ingratiate it, get all the people in before we start flooding the Patreon with content, and that starts on Monday.
Yes. So all of that going on, you might be able to carve out some time for some good, old-fashioned, rough and tumble entertainment. In Waynesville this weekend, tonight and tomorrow night, at the Smoky Mountain Event Center, 758 Crabtree Road in Waynesville again. The roughest and toughest brawl is back to the Smoky Mountain Event Center. The roughest and toughest brawl is a North Carolina Boxing Authority sanctioned amateur boxing tournament between local competitors with no prior professional fighting experience of any kind. Just local guys and gals slugging it out for 3 one-minute rounds, competing for cash prizes and the title of roughest and toughest brawlers in the mountains.
Oh, shoot. So I can't fight.
You can't. You've already been trained.
Oh, that's sad. Because I wanted to go up there and, I'd have mushed somebody's face. There's just no doubt in my mind. Even old and can't walk, I'd have still mushed your face.
8 o'clock tonight, the fights will start. 8 o'clock tomorrow night as well. Each fighter will fight one match on Friday night, and the winners will advance to the Saturday night matches. Gates open at 6:30. Again, it is at the Smoky Mountain Event Center, 758 Crabtree Road in Waynesville. Oh, I buried the lead here. Butterbean's going to be there. So if you were ever a Butterbean fan, If you ever dressed up as Butterbean for Halloween, like I did once, maybe this is your chance to go meet the One Punch King.
Tank, I will give you 50 U.S. doll hairs to go to Waynesville for that. No. I want you to sign up to fight too, but that's not what I'm going to say.
That's not going to happen.
I just want you to go to Waynesville, find Eric Butterbean, last name forgotten. I just know his first name's Eric.
Uh-huh.
And I want you to walk up to him and just go, Papa?
Father?
Papa, can you hear me?
Daddy, you never came back with those cigarettes. Where have you been?
Oh, you took that to a different place than I was anticipating. I wasn't ready for that. Tank is in falafel mode, and I'm here for it. My story, oddly enough, is about hockey. Does the name Claude Giroux mean anything to you?
Claude?
Claude.
Al Giroux's brother?
I don't know. Maybe. He's a forward for the Ottawa Senators.
I'm going to say no.
Well, apparently there's been a bit of a problem in Ottawa with car thievery. Well, yesterday morning, Ryan Giroux, the wife of Claude Giroux, posted out a tweet that said, "Good morning to everyone except the people who stole our blank car." I omitted a word there for a reason. So they got their car stolen yesterday morning. Would you like to hear the weird thing about that?
Yeah.
The word that I omitted was loaner car, because this is the second time they've had their car stolen in 4 months. The loaner car was while they're still actively searching for their Land Rover that was stolen from their home in Ottawa in September.
Yikes.
That is not good. I also thought it was reserved only for Chicago. Apparently, Ottawa is French-Canadian for Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know that. You learn something new every day on this show, folks.
This feels like a personal vendetta. The chances of having your car stolen, I mean, they're pretty astronomical in the first place. But to get hit twice in, what'd you say, 3 months? 4 months?
September, October, November, December, January. So 4 to 5-ish.
That's insane. Buy some lottery tickets next.
There have been over 2,000. There were over 2,000 reported incidents of auto theft in Ottawa by itself in the year 2023.
Okay,
that's a lot. Matthew Hoffman said his name is Giroux, by the way, not Giroux.
Or is it Guru?
It could be. It could be Guru, I suppose.
Because if it's Giroux, then you need to use a J when you're phonetically spelling things. It's just one of those things.
Oh, well, I mean, and I could see that, except for maybe he was chalking it up to I was already pronouncing the first syllable correctly. I was just pronouncing the second syllable incorrectly.
Maybe.
Giroux. Okay.
Giroux.
I was about to say, and Matthew Hoffman's comment was, he's French, bruh. Of course it's Jur. There's no gur in...
I have no idea. I don't know who he is.
French, and now I will say this as a guy that took 3 years of French solely because the prettiest girls in my high school took French. And I never literally learned anything other than Je m'appelle Hervé, because that's my name in French. So, what up?
Hervé?
Hervé.
Okay.
That's my name in French.
Interesting.
And yes, I also took 3 years of Spanish. So, and how many words can I say of either of those languages? Not nary none of them. I barely speak the language that I learned as a weeman, let alone another one. Although it does mess people up because I can say very obscene things, which obviously I can't say on the show. But when I have people speaking another language to me, I can say those things, and then they look at me like, oh. Did he understand everything else we said? Because that was kind of an intricate phrase for him to know. Nope.
Yeah.
Ain't got a clue. Just had a feeling you were talking about me because you were pointing at me and laughing.
They're definitely targeting the Frenchie here. That doesn't happen. You don't get your car stolen that many times in a row unless somebody's just waiting for you to leave it unlocked or something.
Or and Tank, I hate to be the detective of this here program. He's a wealthy man, and he's driving an expensive car in a place that has auto theft problems.
Maybe.
Get you a good old-fashioned Honda Civic and watch that problem stop happening. Although that is the most stolen car in America. So.
Yeah, do people still do that?
Oh, yeah. They're real easy.
Still steal Civics?
Easy cars to break into are stolen at a higher rate. I heard. I think I saw it on C-SPAN.
Okay.
Or CNN. Or Fox News. Or whatever you would believe I was watching.
We definitely don't believe that you were watching CNN.
This, especially now that you don't have James Earl Jones. This is CNN. Fantastic. R.I.P. Mufasa.
Sorry, that threw me. I wasn't expecting the Mufasa reference today. Oh,
Bill Workman said it was on NFL Network. Good Morning Football. They were talking about car thefts. That's where I learned it.
Apparently, it's a big problem up there in Ottawa.
Yeah, they were breaking down Senior Bowl prospects, and then Daniel Jeremiah broke it. Hey, did you know this? Honda Civics are easy to steal. Back to you.
Awesome. Hey, you never know what you're going to learn by listening to sports shows.
For sure. If we ever submit to win like a radio Emmy or what, I don't even know what those are, we should send in the last 10 minutes. Because this is the best explanation of how stupid we are in one very small little microcosm.
That's actually what I'm afraid of. That's gonna hurt us, because I am being nominated for those types of awards for the hurricane coverage, and I'm worried that they're gonna dig in and find out. Wait, he does what from 12 to 3 every day? No, that guy can't win one of these. That. The National Association of Broadcasters is on line 2 to tell you you've been denied, Mr. Spencer.
We have 2 super chats to get out of this topic before one of us gets fired.
We're not getting fired. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it'd be tough. Contract, bruh. They're fun.
Yeah. Name's on the door. All right, super chat.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
I'm going to do these in reverse order because one of them's actually a sports question. The other one's just really funny.
Okay.
And they're both from Red Sea. Whatever you will believe Jeremy Green was watching. Oh, I know this. What is a Bud Light ad? I don't have a bell, but I feel like that deserved a bell. That is an advertisement that I will watch. Ooh, beer. That sounds lovely. Not today, but most days.
Mm-hmm. He really flips out when Shane Gillis is in them.
I do love Shane Gillis. I think that dude is one of the funniest people on the planet.
Yeah.
And the fact that our buddy Bert Kreischer was the one that gave him his start, not surprising, because he also is one of the funniest people on the planet.
That he is. All right, number 2 for Red Sea.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Draft question. What deity or deities do I have to pray to so James Pierce is a Cardinal in April? It's funny you should ask that because I was just talking about James Pierce earlier this week. You're going to have the chance to draft him. I'm going to soften. I'm going to give you the hope in that, and then I'm going to cushion the blow of don't be shocked if he's on the board and you still don't take him.
Who would they be in on?
I'm dumbfounded how many people don't like him nearly as much as I do.
Really?
And I don't know why. Nobody's given me a really good answer. Well, he's thin. Okay, he's also freakishly fast. And he's freakishly strong for a guy that's considered thin.
Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Nope. This is another one of those in a very long line of players where I go, cool, you sleep on it, please push him down the board. Make me look smarter because he's in my top 10. And I've seen you do this across the industry with so many players. Please do it with James Pierce. Mm-hmm. Push him down boards. You know what? Let's let him go in the second round. Make me look even smarter.
James Pierce once was thought to be a lock for a top 5 pick, and now people are talking about maybe not.
It's shocking how often it's those guys, too, that people push down the board.
Yeah.
Because you expect them to take a step forward. And then when they don't, you think it's because, they've plateaued and this is as good as they can be.
Yep.
And then they're still as good as they were. It's just they're getting more attention. And
they're getting better
for whatever
coaching
reason
now.
People don't.
Right, you get into the NFL, you get better coaching. Right, it takes that ceiling up
for sure.
Once you go into the NFL, if you've already topped out as a junior in college, or let's say a sophomore in college, and the next year, a guy like James Pierce who has 15 sacks in his sophomore year, how the hell is he supposed to live up to that in his junior year? Okay, so he took a step back, didn't have as many sacks or whatever, and I'm just throwing numbers out here. I'm not trying to throw because I don't know how many sacks he had. I'm just, this is hypothetical scenario. How is this guy supposed to live up to that? Not very many guys do.
For sure.
Right? Not very many guys have 15 sacks in their sophomore season and then do the who was the guy from Maryland that was the big defensive end that had the sack record forever. He was number one pick. I had his name in my mind and it just went right out the window. Williams. Right, Mario Williams?
He went to NC State.
Or, excuse me, NC State at red team.
I was about to say Maryland. Who in the world are you talking about? Are you talking about Russell, Maryland?
No. Sorry. I had red team in my head. Yeah. So, like Mario Williams, he had like 20 sacks or something in his last year in college. Not many guys do that.
No.
I am always shocked by those. He didn't have the greatest year this year. Yeah, but haven't you already seen how good this guy can be with subpar coaching?
Yep, and I love really preying on those guys in the draft because they make me look smart. We have two more super chats before we get into the next topic.
All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Matthew Hoffman, every award show needs a bald bigman with some daily dumbassery who occasionally likes to falafel around and find out.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Somebody also said we could be the first sports show. I think it was Bill Workman. Said we could be the first sports show to win a comedy award. We're a lot more likely to win that than a sports award. For sure.
No doubt about it.
Those go to people like Bomani Jones. 7 Emmys, no viewers. Figure that out. I'll never get it. And one more.
We all know how that happened.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Caleb Daniels, this might be the weirdest question anybody's ever asked me, and it might also be the easiest question anybody's ever asked me. Would you rather have Seneca Wallace or Chris Redmond as your quarterback? When they came into the draft, Chris Redmond, because I thought he had a golden arm. Knowing what I know now, Seneca Wallace, and it's not even close.
Okay.
I low-key loved Seneca Wallace, and still do. He was one of those players that I kept, in all the years that the Jets had no quarterback, I kept going, why can we not just do that? Because the defense is evil, and I really just need a quarterback that can move just a little bit and hum it deep. So Seneca Wallace is my answer, and it's really not all that close.
Man, that is a deep dive.
For sure. Chris
Seneca
Redmond, a good
Wallace.
coach now, though.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm. I can't remember where he is. I think he's.
okay.
I want to say he's at Louisville.
All right, good for him. Seneca Wallace.
I saw him at an event, so I know he's coaching somewhere. I think he's at Louisville. I will find an answer to that.
Yes.
And now I'm really curious what Seneca Wallace is doing as well.
That would be his Wikipedia page does not say, as far as I could tell.
He was a coach at one time. I just can't now. I can't for the life of me remember where.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, in the summer of 2018, Wallace was the quarterback for Godspeed, a flag football team made of former professional American football players that participated in the American Flag Football League. Oh, look at that. Interesting.
Seneca Wallace is now a high school coach. John Paul II High School.
Interesting. Well, you are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We got more big news to talk about in the next hour. Pete Carroll is taking the job with the Las Vegas Raiders. And I don't know that you could come up with a better name to take over in an organization that, well, they need some guidance. Let's do the Tank Spencer thing and just be as nice as possible. The Vegas Raiders need some guidance. Who better than Pete Carroll leading the way, setting the tone in that building for the next couple of years as they try to get back on their feet with a little new ownership. Talk about that coming up on the program. Want to remind you there will be a live Senior Bowl mock draft show tomorrow on the YouTube, of course, brought to you by NFLDraft.net. Flostradamus, Jeremy Green with all the picks of the guys that are going to the Super Bowl or to the Senior Bowl laid out in a first-round mock draft.
I also love that today's the day that I always dread every single year, where the Senior Bowl announces about 5 small school guys that have played in other games that wind up here, and I have to crash course information on them in a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's always fun.
Well, I mean, they should be on your radar already, shouldn't they?
Usually I dive into the other games after I do the Senior Bowl, because I do the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl concurrently.
Yeah.
I go to the Senior Bowl just because it's closer. But I have to do both of them at the same time, so I really dig into the others after.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the names. I just haven't done the amount of legwork you would expect for me to have done on a guy that I'm going to have to cover up close and personal like this.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about it. Pete Carroll going to Vegas.
Taxes was not
clear.
Full financial picture.
Simple.
Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. How can I help you?
My schedule is crazy. I just want some me time.
We could all use a sanctuary from stress. Why not turn your bedroom into the place to decompress with our selection of comfortable beds, pillows, decor, mood lighting, and so much more? Every time you step in there, it's nothing but me time. I mean, you time.
Sounds like a dream.
Here to make your me time dreams come true. Visit us in-store or at ikea-usa.com/sleep to create a comfy, blissful bedroom today.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Although we are a little bit milder, we spun it around just a bit. It's still down below normal. Here's your perspective. Upper 20s, the average low this time of year. Take a look at the car thermometer quickly, please. Some sun with clouds as we get through the day, and we'll warm up to about 35. Still in the teens tonight. Tomorrow, mid-40s and sunny. Maybe a little milder Sunday. Upper 40s, partial sun. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Mucinex DM 12 Hour. Stop. 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 Had enough? Kick out mucus and quiet the cough with Mucinex DM 12 Hour for long-lasting cough and chest congestion relief. Buy now at your local retailer. Use as directed.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
I applied for FEMA assistance, but I don't know the status.
If you've applied and haven't heard anything, you might need to make sure your information is correct.
Well, how do I do that?
The same way you applied. You can go online to disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362. If you'd rather get in-person help, you can go to a disaster recovery center.
Where can I find one?
You can find your nearest DRC by going to FEMA.gov/DRC.
Okay, I'll stay in touch with FEMA.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Pay. That's pay. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
You're listening to the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. And seeing us on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. You can also follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. Welcome into the program. If you're just joining us, today is
Football Friday.
One of the few that we have left in this football season.
Oh, we have many football Fridays left, just not talking about games actively. Have no fear. We're not going to start talking about the NBA. You've explained.
Yeah.
We're good on all that, so we just don't.
Yeah, no. I'm good on all of that. But we will continue, of course, with the Draftmas season coverage, but the actual coverage of games only lasts for another couple of weeks. as we get the conference championship games coming up this weekend. We get the Eagles and the Commanders and the Chiefs against the Bills. We'll break down those games in the next hour of the program, continuing to keep our eye on all of the movement on the coaching carousel. We talked about Liam Cohen getting the Jacksonville Jaguars job. I'm also seeing reports that Rob Saleh got a job.
Was it as the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers?
Ed was in San Francisco, yes. I didn't see it was, I didn't think it said he was the DC now. I think he's just an assistant on the defensive staff. But we can...
Robert Saleh hired as the 49ers defensive coordinator.
Okay, there you go. There you go. All right, so Rob Saleh, now the defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. And another head coaching position got filled. And it's the one, the only, Pete Carroll. He's taken the Las Vegas Raiders job. Now, at his advanced age, is this a good idea?
I think it's the best idea on the board. I had started to hear that Pete Carroll was gaining traction a couple days ago, and that makes a ton of sense. I mean, look, what else? The biggest problem right now with the Raiders is what?
They're terrible. There's not.
But
much
why are they
there.
terrible?
There's not much leadership there, and they ain't got a whole lot of talent on their defense.
That was definitely a problem. Now,
and they don't have a quarterback.
Not having a quarterback is obviously very tough. The culture around that building has not been particularly good. Pete Carroll's experience as a head coach goes back 30 years. When Liam Cohen, that was just pegged as the head coach of the Jaguars, he was 9 years old when Pete Carroll got his first head coaching job with the Jets in 1994.
Right.
By the way, Pete Carroll's first round pick as a head coach was Aaron Glenn. Anybody see the dichotomy in that?
That is a coincidence.
Mm-hmm. Back-to-back days, they get head coaching jobs. Pete's been successful everywhere he's been. One of the best college coaches that ever lived. I loved it. Look, every Jet fan will tell you he feels like the one that got away because Leon Hess got obsessed with hiring Rich Kotite, and so he fired Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
What else could you have done that would have a better chance of putting that culture in place than Pete Carroll?
I don't think you have one. I mean, I don't think there is an answer of coaches that are available to you. This was the best coach that you could get. This is the best culture builder that you could get. This is the best program builder that you can get. I mean, Pete Carroll, he made USC a thing again back in the early 2000s.
Pete Carroll's been a head coach in the NFL for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
In his first 6 seasons, he had 3 losing seasons. How many does he have in the 12 years since?
1.
It's 1. And he was 7-10.
Mm-hmm. They made the playoffs that year, didn't they? Wasn't that the 7-9 team that made the playoffs?
No, that was in 2021. That was the year that started the decline that ultimately led to him getting fired in Seattle. Well, mutually agreeing to part ways, which looks way less mutual now that 1 year later he's taking another job. I also look at Pete. I look at the contract, which is intriguing to me that it's 3 years with a team option for a 4th. I will be very interested to see what the staff looks like. I think it's going to be a lot of guys that are very familiar names.
Darren Ravel.
Darren Ravel is you're talking about Darrell Bevel.
Or
Darren Ravel is the
Bevel. That's who I was talking about.
He's the super wokester that talks about trading cards and stuff like that.
You're right.
He's the one that likes to block Clay Travis and me and a few others that like to comment on his posts.
Okay. Who else?
Ken Norton Jr. was the first name that came to my mind.
Okay.
Because I think he's been on every staff that Pete's had for a decade. But, I mean, you just look at the culture builders that you're going to be able to put in that locker room. Do I think Pete Carroll's the guy that's going to ultimately lead you to a Super Bowl? No. But you got to crawl before you walk.
He probably won't be alive that long.
But you got to crawl before you walk. Look, Pete will be the oldest first-year head coach in NFL history, I think. I know he's the oldest head coach in the league right now.
Yes. I would imagine no one has ever hired a 74-year-old to be their head coach before.
But I like it. We have a super chat that I need to shut this down pretty quick.
Okay.
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
It's from Soaring Eagle, who said there's already buzz that the next Raiders quarterback will be Russell Wilson with this news. Please do that. Just give Pittsburgh the farm for him. Well, he's a free agent, so you don't have to give him anything.
Right.
I don't hate that idea. I also don't really think that's going to happen. Look, I know they're familiar with each other, and everybody loves to draw that straight line. And it could. I would say it's much more likely that the Raiders make an aggressive move at quarterback.
And what does that look like?
Sam Darnold.
Oh.
The rumor in Minnesota is that they're rolling with J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
And look, the more you think about it, the more sense it makes.
Okay, how does it make more sense?
Well, Pete Carroll's really close to what program?
USC.
College program?
USC.
Where'd Sam Darnold go to school?
USC.
Oh, yeah.
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 No. I'm not. This makes perfect sense for the Raiders. I don't see how it makes sense for the Vikings to give Sam Darnold up.
Well, look, I don't disagree with you there.
Okay.
It's just the report is that they're not going to pay him. They don't want to risk. They may franchise and trade him or tag and trade him.
Yep.
But they don't want to risk having to pay him.
Now let's do that. Let's franchise him and fleece the Raiders.
I don't think you're going to fleece the Raiders.
I'm all in.
It's too well known that you're planning on rolling with J.J. McCarthy, so you're not going to fleece anybody. The thing you always have to remember in trade negotiations, and I always love when people say this to me, always you just tag the guy and trade him. The problem with that is that every team in the league has the ability to look at you and go, oh, so you're super in on this guy, and you're going to pay him $50 million or whatever it is? Then why did you call me? Oh, you called me wanting to make a deal on the guy, but you're super in on him and you're fine paying him $50 million. Yep, don't believe you. Don't believe you, and I'll walk away from this table right now. I'll stick you with him. So it wouldn't be a fleecing.
I'd be okay to be stuck with him.
And you should be, but they don't seem to be. So
yeah, which is strange to me.
It is to me too.
Wow.
The guy, by the way, did you see the list of comeback player of the year nominees?
I did not.
Sam Darnold was on it.
Really?
With DeMar Hamlin.
With a
hey, we're going to do this until somebody decides who we're going to give it to DeMar Hamlin.
Well, I mean, the guy did die on the field. So, didn't get him last year. Maybe we can get him this year. Now, he took a step forward this year, so maybe that counts.
He played reasonably well.
Right,
he's not going to win comeback player of the year.
No, but he falls more into the line of, improved player now. Right?
For sure.
We missed the comeback player. You want to put him up for improved player? Okay. Got a feeling that qualification's going to go away. Like, I only heard that qualification for this year about the injury thing. I don't think that's going to be a thing.
Well, that's because they were embarrassed that DeMar Hamlin didn't win it last year and Joe Flacco did.
Yeah, but he deserved it more.
Again,
Right.
You're getting no argument out of me.
Joe Flacco deserved it more than DeMar Hamlin did because DeMar Hamlin, granted, he did die on the field, but basically he just showed up last year.
Reverend, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out you're preaching at the choir. The congregation is facing the other way.
Oh, that was geared at me?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I kept watching the.
I'm disagreeing with nothing you're saying
to
here.
chime in.
But look, I like this hire for the Raiders. I just look at the other guys they interviewed, and are there coaches that I like better? Sure. Are there guys that I like better for what Pete than what Pete Carroll can do for a Raiders organization that they need a Pete Carroll? I mean, do you disagree with that?
I do not. It's part of the reason that I hate this organization is because they've never had this. They haven't had a guy that I look at as, oh man, he's a great coach, he's a great leader, he's all of the things that he's supposed to be. I mean, has there been a coach that you've been all in on with the Raiders?
Well, I mean, just look at who they thought they were getting Ben Johnson. So don't let anybody lie to you today that the Pete Carroll thing really amped up about 45 minutes after Ben Johnson agreed to terms with the Bears. Mm-hmm. They thought Ben Johnson was coming to Las Vegas. Why that is, I mean, I can't really answer that question. I'm just telling you what I hear. They had to flex. I think they're if you look at who they interviewed, Ron Rivera, Steve Spagnuolo, Pete Carroll, all three of those guys steer into kind of the same trajectory of you're a steady coach that's been in the league for a really long time. We know you're not going to be here forever. Mm-hmm. The hope is maybe you can cultivate the next coach by building the culture, and then we can hire a coach off the staff instead of having to change everything. Mm-hmm. Because we know we're not Super Bowl competitive right now. There is absolutely nothing that Pete Carroll can do that will make with where they're situated in the draft, what's coming into this draft class, what's available in free agency, the money they have. There's nothing you're going to do to be Super Bowl competitive next year. Mm-hmm. However, you can be playoff competitive next year.
Yeah, we have to bring in somebody who knows how to win, right? We need to bring somebody in who knows how to. And that's not just players, right? That's for everybody in the building. That's for the scouts. That's for the assistants. That's for down to the ball boys. This Raiders organization has never had it. Gambit fan says, Lord, may you grant me something to love as much as Tank loves to hate the Raiders.
You do love to hate the Raiders.
Of course I do, because they're easy to hate.
They're not easy to hate for me.
They should be. That is an awful franchise. Just one step above the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's not great.
Well, there's also more. There's more that goes into that than you just look at straight players. You got to realize the hard left turn that they had to do off of John Gruden and Mike Mayock really put this organization in a bad situation. I mean, because you got to look at what Mayock drafted while he was there. It's brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, he added maybe 5 impact players, and one of them's a free agent this year that you're about to have to pay a bag to in Malcolm Coons. Mm-hmm. But if you look at what they've done the last couple of years, outside of the Byron Young fiasco, which I don't know that what I think happened, but I want to believe what I think happened. Outside of that, they've done pretty well. You know, Brock Bowers, he's going to be Rookie of the Year.
Great pick.
Jackson Powers-Johnson, great pick.
Yep.
Delmar Glaze, a guy that I raked him over hot coals for. Great pick. Michael Mayer the year before, I think great pick. Aiden O'Connell, I think great pick, getting him in the 4th round. They've had a lot of these. I still really like Dylan Parham. That's in the last 3 years. They didn't do that before that. Now I think you've got the scouts in place. One of my closest friends in the industry works in that front office. And they're it's a different time right now with the Raiders than it has been. I don't think you put as much into that, but you're also not as close to that organization as I am. Maybe that makes me biased. I can't tell you that it doesn't.
Well, I mean, and you say this about me all the time, and it's absolutely true. I am one of those. You got to show me. You got to show me that this organization has changed. That this isn't going to be one more just god-awful dumpster fire by the end of it. Pete Carroll comes in and the game's passed him by or whatever. Like, I don't think any of that's true. Will I be surprised to see this completely fall on its face? Not really. Because this is what the Raiders do. Now, I want Pete Carroll to come in here, and I want him to be successful. I like the Raiders. I like the culture. I mean, not the culture, but I like I like the image of the Raiders. It's a cool story, right? The old AFL Raiders in the John Madden, Al Davis days, like you were the toughest thing around, and you were winning games, and you were competing each and every year with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the AFC or the AFL or whatever. I guess it was after the merger, so it was AFC. Yep. But still, like, you were a heritage franchise in this league. And over the years, Al Davis's craziness and now Mark Davis's awful haircut are the only things that are left to me. Yes, you've got some good players. And I wish to God you could turn this into a winner for guys like Brock Bowers. I won't have to sit around and watch, Raiders' careers be wasted because you just can't get it together and learn how to win.
Define success.
You never had that guy in the building.
Define success for Pete Carroll. Let's call this what it is. It's a 3-year deal with a mutual option for a fourth. So we'll call it in the next 3 years. What would define success for the Raiders?
I would say you're second place in this division by the end of it, or at least real close, right? We're talking, oh, man, this is a 3-headed monster in the West between the Raiders and the Chargers and the Chiefs.
I can genuinely say I don't care where they finish in this division. I don't care. You know what will define success for me? If you can look around and go, your free agent dollars have been spent in smart places. Your draft capital has been spent in smart places. You've stopped allowing smart guys to walk out of this building. And 3 years from now, you have a much better basis of talent. You have a much better operation from top to bottom. And you are able to groom the next coach underneath Pete Carroll. And this becomes a 10-year plan as opposed to just throw something against the wall and see what sticks. And then 3 years from now, you're having to completely redo the operation again. Mm-hmm. Who that guy is, I don't know. I can tell you Pete Carroll was the original Kyle Shanahan at one point, just developing talent on a staff. And I believe he can still do that.
Mm-hmm. I believe he still can do that, too. I think
Chris Richard, another name that I would be shocked if he's not on the staff.
Okay. It'd be a great thing for the Raiders not to be an awful franchise. And maybe that's where we're headed. I don't see a better option than Pete Carroll to make this happen. I like the idea of bringing in the vet who knows how to do it. I like this as much as I like the idea of Bill Belichick taking over at Carolina. Somebody that could teach this organization how it's supposed to be done. Because you've never had that. Or at least you haven't had it in decades. It's the best thing I got for the Raiders.
Tank, we've got to take a commercial break.
Yes, sir.
But we have breaking news, and this might be the weirdest breaking news I've heard in a long, long time.
It'll be coming up next, right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is the story of
Clear.
As a maintenance specialist for
Bobby
a
Slowick just got fired by the Houston
vintage
Texans.
Charm historically needs constant.
Oh, that's interesting. Hey, does he want to come to Tampa Bay?
You want to come to the Jets? Because we got a new coach that does know a whole bunch about offense.
When and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
After what was, again,
the most
important year of our lifetime. 2025's got a lot to live up to.
The most important events
of a new year.
Let's be hopeful.
Will happen here.
Who's ready?
On 570 WWNC.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Just visit
You good?
.com. Ingalls.
Yep, we're good.
Low prices.
Okay, I'll take it up.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville.
OBS got hung up
To
on the
improve
recording,
lives
and I
with
want to
every
record
interaction.
this
Nominate your
on Bobby
Parks
Slowick.
Community Hero today.
Okay.
.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies.
Will you
and
pull your
drive to
camera
the
just
hardest hit
a
areas
hair
in those first hours? Like Eric, who hosted the football team
towards
to
your mic.
support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. What's the breaking news, Jeremy Green?
This one, I'm not going to lie to you, has caught me rather off guard. It's from Ian Rappaport. A major change in Houston. The Houston Texans are moving on from offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick, sources say, after an up-and-down offensive season.
Wow.
Adam Schefter, at the same time, said in the span of 1 year, Slowick went from being a hot head coaching candidate to now looking for work.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to be incredibly sought after by new coaches.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Oh, Jason Light. Hey, you remember that money you was going to give to Liam Cohen? Bobby Slowick's available. I'd be all about it.
I'm trying to find a common thread with him that would make sense, and I don't see one.
Well, I mean, didn't he come off the Sean McVay tree too?
He was with McVay in Washington.
Okay.
His tree would be Kyle Shanahan. Because he was with Shanahan in Washington. Mm-hmm. Kyle's dad, Mike, hired him. Then he went with Kyle to San Francisco, and then he wound up here in Houston. I won't be shocked if your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are calling on that one. I won't be shocked if the Jets are calling on that one, although I'm pretty confident that I know where they're going to go at OC.
Mm-hmm. Is that Nick guy?
Yes.
Nick Caley?
Nick Caley, yep.
Yeah. Who is he? He's with the Rams, too?
Yeah, he's the tight ends coach for the Rams.
Yes. Passing game coordinator.
Yes.
Apparently.
He was also the tight ends coach for the Patriots. But Slowick, I mean, look, he's still a really bright coach. I think Bobby Slowick is getting blamed for issues with C.J. Stroud that were not his fault.
I mean, that's what happens.
For sure.
I mean,
this is trust me. This is why I looked at Ben Johnson and went, "Are you sure that you want to tie yourself to Caleb Williams? Because I'm not so sure."
Who's going to get the blame? Is it the rookie quarterback, or the second-year quarterback, or is it going to be the coach? Yeah, it's always going to be the coach in that scenario.
Oh, no doubt. I'm trying to find a place for Slowick that makes a ton of sense. Because Cleveland's already hired Tommy Rees.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have an offensive coordinator spot. Oh, I'll tell you one that does make a lot of sense.
What is that?
Him going back to San Francisco. They bring back Slowick and Saleh, and a year from now they have two hot candidates again.
Right, I was going to say they get rated next year if things go well. If San Francisco goes back to being the top of the West, then both those guys are going to be on the block again.
That makes too much sense not to happen. And look, I understand, and I know somebody's going to come at me and say, "Oh, Bobby Slowick was situational football and play call." There's a lot that goes into play call, and I got news for you. Bobby Slowick is not the one that made C.J. Stroud's eyes incredibly lazy. He tried to make him to take that step forward, and he couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. And I hate to break this to you, there's a great chance that the next one's going to have the same problem. I'm dumbfounded. I don't think I've ever seen a guy that went from interviewing for head coaching jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Did he interview for a job in this cycle?
I don't believe he got called for this cycle. He got called last year.
I know he got called last year.
Because he interviewed with Washington last year.
He did. I could have sworn somebody called him in this cycle.
No, after this year didn't go so well. I think everybody just got kind of turned off.
Yeah, I think he's a smart hire for somebody, and I have a pretty good feeling that somebody's going to be Kyle Shanahan.
Yep.
Go back to the Nick Saban of the NFL, Mr. Let me rehab you so you can go get a coaching job somewhere else.
Yep.
And they're hiring an offensive coordinator, and they've only interviewed one guy. It was a kid from Iowa State that I haven't heard another, Noah Pauley. I haven't heard another word about that. So, yeah, don't be shocked if Bobby Slowick reappears in San Francisco.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back, it'll be time to get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather for
clear
on ESPN Asheville.
Old Man Winter finally
Bobby Buddy, come run your offense for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets.
Going north now, a little bit of a breeze.
I'm
still
fine
cold
with that.
today, but 35 is better. Partial sunshine. Tonight we'll dip into the teens still, so still pretty cold, and then it's the weekend will get better. Mid-40s, sunny Saturday, partial sun Sunday, upper 40s, maybe well into the 50s by next week. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
I'm Mark Starling, and this Medical Minute is brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center. Your health means everything to you, your family, and your community. And every minute matters when an emergency puts your health at risk. That's why it's so important to get to the hospital and get the care you need as soon as possible. The emergency department at Haywood Regional Medical Center provides quality care and even higher levels of emergency heart care found in their accredited chest pain center for just that added peace of mind. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Remember, when an emergency strikes, don't make your health wait. Get to the hospital as soon as you can and get the care that you need now at Haywood Regional Medical Center. Continuing a long-standing tradition of excellence, Haywood Regional Medical Center offers a comprehensive array of services. For more information and to check average ER wait times, visit myhaywoodregional.com. That's myhaywoodregional.com. This has been the Medical Minute, brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund, so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. Need to whip up a dessert, entree, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingles table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingles table at ingles-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingles Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Time to get weird, and Jeremy, I don't think I've seen many people dealing with irate passengers on an airplane quite in this manner, but I think this might be the new standard for all passengers who get a little too out of control. The story comes to us. There was a flight from San Francisco to Nadi on Fiji Airwaves on last Saturday. And the woman in question, believed to be in her 60s, was filmed by passengers on the flight going on some just massive, racist, vulgar tirade and just would not stop. So how do you get that passenger under control? They had 3 flight attendants jump on her and duct taped her mouth shut.
I was going to say duct tape her to the seat, so I was pretty close.
That is pretty close. Just duct tape her mouth shut. She is claiming that was unnecessary in a lawsuit against the airline. However, I don't believe this is one that she's going to win.
Nope, disagree for the square. Totally here for it.
Yeah. Apparently, Fiji police not having any problems with how she was treated on the flight, saying that she was intoxicated and causing a nuisance to passengers, could have become unsafe, and unruly passengers of any kind will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which, I mean, they should be. That's one place where I don't want anybody putting up with shenanigans.
No.
We're 30,000 feet in the air. I am not, we're not sitting here for another 4 hours with you just spouting your nonsense.
Oh, awful people on flights are the awfulest of the awful people.
Mm-hmm. Shut up and sit down. Good for the flight attendants.
My story is about CBS. Tank, do you watch the show FBI?
No.
Amy and I've watched it for a long time. It's solid. It's that stereotypical cop drama, which I'm a fan of. It's not necessarily the highest in television, but it's fine.
That's not the one with Tom Selleck, right?
No, that was Blue Bloods. That
Blue
just
Bloods.
ended.
Okay.
That was also solid. I watched that one too. I also love Tom Selleck. So FBI is a show that, not shockingly enough, follows the interactions of a unit in the FBI.
Yeah.
They have decided to do their 3rd spinoff. Would you like to take a stab at what it is called?
FBI Las Vegas.
Nope. They have another spinoff, and I'll tell you what it was called in a minute because it makes this even dumber than what I'm getting ready to say.
Okay.
The spinoff is called FBI CIA. You do know those are two completely different entities, right?
Yes.
You do know that they don't have a ton of overlap, right? Because the CIA deals with things where?
Overseas.
Internationally. The FBI deals with things where?
Federally.
Domestically. Here in the United States. Now, let me make this a little dumber. They already have a second spinoff that's called FBI International.
Nope.
Who thought this was a good idea? Like, you're sitting around you know what? I got an idea. We'll call it FBI CIA. The comments underneath the announcement of this are absolutely hilarious. One guy said, I'm not going to be happy until they announce FBI, CIA, ATF, TSA, Space Force.
Yes.
Another one said, looking forward to its own spinoff, FBI, CIA, Threat Level Midnight.
Mm-hmm. I love Threat Level Midnight.
And then tying it back to sports, coming soon, football spinoff, NFL, NBA.
That's the best one.
Yeah, don't trust me. I literally have 1,000 of them sitting here in front of me. Another one said can't wait for their next cop drama called Police Cops.
Yeah.
Oh, why is television so bad unless it's on a streaming service? I couldn't name you 5 shows that are on cable television right now.
Yeah, no, I can't either.
Meanwhile, old Taylor Sheridan, he just randomly goes to a store and goes, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna do a show about gas and oil. That'll be fine. I'm gonna do 4 shows about cowboys. Yeah, we're good.
Mm-hmm. We just keep doing it, just over and over and over again.
And I can't encourage you enough. Watch The Agency.
Okay.
Also, don't tell me what happened in the finale. I've already heard it was aggressive. That's the episode I'm to. I just haven't watched it yet, and if you spoil it for me, I reserve the right to show up at your house and poop in your driveway.
No spoilers for Jeremy, please.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, we got a super chat from Sir Jimothy in the YouTube comments. Says that's the dumbest thing I've heard of since the FBI.
It is quite it's on brand for something associated with the FBI to be this incredibly stupid. Mm-hmm. He had another one too.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And it just said, "In the alphabet, boys."
He's not a fan of the government agencies, apparently.
The only thing that, look, I don't have a whole lot of interactions with the FBI, because I'm quite a boring man. The only thing I hate is watching every cop drama when the FBI shows up and goes, "This is our scene now." Shut up. Go away. We don't care about you. You're going to die in 3 scenes anyway. Shut up.
I guess that's how it goes.
It's how it goes every single time. Oh, I'm the hard-nosed FBI agent. This is my scene. And dead. Oh, not your scene anymore. Actually, it is your scene. You're just the victim now instead of the one parading around showing your badge.
No.
I watch a lot of cop drama, Stank. A lot.
I see that.
You name it, I've probably seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I don't like timepieces. And anything in the future is immediately out for me. If you go to space, I'm out. If you churn your own butter, I'm out.
If you what?
If you churn your own butter, Little House on the Prairie style, I'm out.
Yep.
Modern cowboy, fine. 1923, Seacrest out. And you start getting into the 18s and the 17s, I didn't even let you finish the number. Because I know what 1923 is. I couldn't tell you the one that's like 1874 or whatever it was. What is it?
1887.
1887?
1887, yes.
Yeah, don't care. I turned that one on for 3 minutes and went, I hate this so much. And if it hadn't been for Taylor Sheridan, I'd have never even turned it on.
Wow. And that was the best one of the series.
Oh, no, those are both awful. Yellowstone, great. The two terrible. Harrison Ford and who's in Helen Mirren.
Yeah,
I'll pass.
Don't you start talking smack about Helen Mirren.
If your two lead actors are old enough to be my great-grandparents, I'm probably Seacrest out.
So Jeremy just hates old people.
Sorry, I don't need to know the stories of Naughty and Pop Pop. That just doesn't really do much for me.
You should, because it makes the story better.
Does it, though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it actually does.
Was Kevin Costner in that one? Oh, okay, then yeah, I probably don't care. Because Kevin Costner wasn't in the last season of Yellowstone either, and I still haven't watched that, and that's one of my favorite shows all time.
Oh, my. You need to change that.
Well, they didn't put it on Paramount Plus. You made it hard for me to find, and I've made this very clear.
It's on
If I have to search, I'm not going to search.
It's on Peacock.
Well, see, I didn't know that. Did I open Peacock one day and they went, "Hey, come find Yellowstone right here"?
They should have.
They 100% they should have.
They should
Stop
have.
making things so hard for me to find.
I mean, that's how I found it. I was scrolling through one day and went, Yellowstone. Oh, look, there it is.
Stephen Tao said, "Spoiler alert." Okay, I'm gonna level with you. If you didn't know Kevin Costner wasn't in the last season of Yellowstone, I don't think you own a television.
I don't think you pay attention to, I don't know, the news.
Yeah, because they literally hashed that out in the news for 2 years. I haven't watched it. How could I possibly give spoilers?
Yeah, no. There's Kevin Costner not in it because there was a giant contract dispute. It worked well, though. It was a great season. You definitely need to watch it.
I'm sorry. I'm going to give you another spoiler. Weekend at Bernie's 2. Bernie's still dead. Sorry. I really hope I didn't ruin that for you.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the sports show here. If you're just tuning in, welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coaching, have we had any more coaching moves today that we haven't mentioned? We didn't really talk about Rob Saleh. You want to talk about him going?
Well, it's not done yet.
49ers?
Robert Saleh's waiting to see if he gets a second call on the Dallas Cowboys. There is no new news there. The Robert Saleh thing was reported by a 49ers fan site, and that's not new information. I have not seen a confirmation that he's taking another job. The source I have said he is waiting until Dallas names a coach to agree with San Francisco.
Okay. So does that mean like is that just his dream job, or has he already had discussions with Dallas? Or
well, he's already agreed to a deal with San Francisco contingent that he doesn't get a head coaching job. San Francisco is willing to wait for the process to play out.
Gotcha. Because it's pretty much how you should be. I feel like every organization should plan for their assistants not to be back.
For sure.
Right, if you're on that list of guys getting interviews or guys getting interest, you should just go ahead and plan. That guy's not coming back. Now, in the case of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that guy did say he was coming back, and you tried your damnedest. They tried to make him one of the highest-paid OCs in the league, but Liam Cohen pulled the switcheroo on him and takes the Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching job.
Well, I mean, I guess now we have to actually dive into the two games that are happening this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm sure somewhere there's somebody going, "You seriously haven't talked about the two games of the weekend? What do you want us to talk about?" It's Buffalo, Kansas City 7. This is like the Fast and the Furious part 46. I don't care.
You don't care what?
I mean, the analysis is the analysis. You want me to break down Kansas City Buffalo for you? Let me do it. Let me see if I can do it in under 30 seconds. If Josh Allen is the player he's been all year, Kansas City can't beat them. If he does what Lamar Jackson did, and we've seen him do that before, against Kansas City's going to win this game. And it doesn't really matter much what happens Kansas City, because I don't think Kansas City can beat an A-plus game from Buffalo. And I don't think anything less than an A-plus game from Buffalo is beating Kansas City. And time. Anybody clock that one for me? Because I think that was spot on 30 seconds.
Well, I don't think you're going to see you will not score with them. If Buffalo has their A game rolling offensively, I don't trust the defense to stop that.
Oh, Bob Brown said I went 75 seconds. I'm losing.
Oh shoot,
Amy, she was mean to me yesterday, and my internal clock might not be as strong as it usually is.
She's just throwing you off your game.
I know. She took me to a birthday party on a Thursday. Don't do that. Have birthday parties on Saturdays. I need Sunday to recover. I'm getting old.
They had a lot of interesting party games at that party, didn't they?
For sure. Pin the tail on the Jeremy, and the tail was Fireball, and I did it about 46 times.
And then he woke up with the playing the fun game of ring around the head. The hat just on a little too tight this morning.
Oh yeah, I woke up with my vape stuck to my face. If that tells you anything,
you're definitely going to need to wipe that off
for sure.
It's probably got some schmeg on it.
God, stop with that. That's the grossest word.
Schmeg?
Yes, that's. Move on. It's gross. You're gross. Stop being gross.
The Kansas City Chiefs, the offense hasn't been there this year. And I don't like your chances if Buffalo is playing at the top of their game. But one of the brilliant things about the Kansas City Chiefs is they do a lot of things to be able to take you off your game. And Steve Spagnuolo is going to have a game plan to put Josh Allen under duress as much as possible. I've never seen Buffalo be able to climb this mountain when it matters. And I still doubt whether they can do it this time.
Really?
Yes. You can never put anything past great coaching. And Kansas City has it on both sides of the ball.
You want to take a stab at the betting markets on this game?
Sure.
I don't physically think you're going to be able to believe what I'm getting ready to tell you.
Okay. Kansas City is a 1-point favorite.
1.5.
1.5 point favorite.
That's across the industry, not just one betting site, which is where I'm pulling this number from.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what am I guessing first?
Let's go with the percent of bets.
All right, the percent of bets, I will say 51% on Kansas City.
85% on the Buffalo Bills.
Really?
Now guess the money.
90-10.
For which team?
For Buffalo.
It's 85-15. For Buffalo.
What's that old thing you say when the public goes one way?
Oh, I'm not done yet. That wasn't the final one.
Oh, okay.
Now guess the money line. Same questions. We'll go bets first.
I will say money line bets.
And now this is just a 1.5 point game, so there should not be a huge discrepancy here.
I'll say 54% Buffalo.
57% Kansas City. And the money is 50-50.
And that's just who's going to win the game. Money line.
In large part, it looks as though the betting markets believe that Buffalo catching more than a point is value.
Mm-hmm.
But Kansas City, the value seems to be on Kansas City. Buffalo's still getting bigger action from sharp bettors in the money line, but it's really, really close.
Mm-hmm. By no means am I saying that this is going to be a blowout or Kansas City's going to win this comfortably. They don't win games comfortably. I don't think they have that in them. But do they have it in them to find a way to win every game that they're in? Yeah.
And I think that's what burns them here. I do. I think that's what burns Kansas City here. You can only play this game so long, where every single game, no matter how good the team you play is, you beat nobody aggressively. Mm-hmm. You let Josh Allen hang around, and you give him the ball late. He's going to beat you. Do you realize that in the last, dating back to the 49ers game, the only game that the Kansas City Chiefs, or two games, that the Kansas City Chiefs won by more than one possession was the Browns and the Steelers. That's with games with the Panthers, the Broncos, the Texans, the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in there. And now you're telling me this team's just going to flip a switch and beat what I think is schematically, I think it's the best offense paired with a quarterback in the league. I struggle to believe it. Eventually, you get got. We had this with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. We've had this with basically every rivalry. Eventually, it's going to go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the one. I do. I think this is the one. I think a lot of things are going the Buffalo Bills' way. One of them is that I don't know. This is the weakest Kansas City Chiefs team I've seen. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
In at least in this run.
Yeah, in the dynasty, this is the worst.
I don't think Pat's been special.
Nope.
Josh Allen's been special. By the way, you're also not getting a weather game here. This isn't going to be 5 degrees. It's going to be 35 degrees with very limited wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's in Kansas City, and that's not a fun place to go play. I also think you're going to get a large number of Buffalo Bill fans that show up in that stadium. I'm not saying it's going to be 50-50 or anything like that.
No.
I do think there is going to be an amount of blue in that stadium that will surprise you.
And that matters.
It doesn't hurt.
No, it never hurts. But I mean, I don't know that you can pack out enough to take the atmosphere out. Because that's the only thing you could accomplish with that. Is hopefully we can get enough tickets that we can make this not one of the most ear-splitting environments that we've ever been involved in.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
You remember in the beginning of the Patriots dynasty when they won 3 out of 4 Super Bowls, and then you had you had that weird 9-7 year where they missed the playoffs.
Yep.
In between that.
Yep.
Then they came back that in 2005, and they were good, but the offense wasn't quite what it had been. The defense wasn't quite what it had been. But then you came to 2006, and nobody could beat them. They went 12-4. The offense was fantastic. It was one of the better defenses they ever had. And then they lost to Peyton Manning in the conference championship game.
Yep.
This feels exactly like that. The Buffalo Bills have been better than the Kansas City Chiefs since week 1 of this season. I don't even think that's debatable.
It's not.
At some point, your luck runs out. And look, you can say what you want to about the officials, about the calls, about whatever you want to say there. Eventually, that runs out. That golden horseshoe that's in your keister runs out eventually. And I just have a funny feeling it's going to be this weekend.
Could be, but usually that golden horseshoe, it doesn't leave you at home. And I think that's what a lot of people have a problem with. We'll continue the discussion about it.
For sure.
We got to take a break here for the top of the hour. We'll be right back here on the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the...
All right, back at 03.
Okay.
Really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. How can I help you?
My schedule is crazy. I just want some me time.
We could all use a sanctuary from stress. Why not turn your bedroom into the place to decompress with our selection of comfortable beds, pillows, decor, mood lighting, and so much more? Every time you step in there, it's nothing but me time. I mean, you time.
Sounds like a dream.
Here to make your me time dreams come true. Visit us in-store or at ikea-usa.com/sleep to create a comfy, blissful bedroom today.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power tool for your project, at Harbor Freight, your dollar always goes further. And these days, when everything seems to cost more, you can take pride in knowing that you get hard-working tools at hard-working prices. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Chronic joint pain has a snowball effect. It's not just the pain.
What that did is just make me depressed that I couldn't get back into the gym, and I was inactive, gaining weight. I had to find another alternative.
And for Chad, that alternative was QC Kinetics and the non-surgical natural biologic treatments that can give lasting relief to aching hips, shoulders, knees, and backs.
Once they explained it, it made sense. Putting what we have inside our body back into us in a certain strategic way to heal up in a natural process was fantastic.
QC Kinetics treatments take place right in the office. No downtime, no surgery. And as for the outcome,
I'm just back to bouncing around, having fun, doing my work, living pain-free.
Don't let chronic joint pain rob you of your quality of life. Discover advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. Call now to learn more. It's a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Old man winter finally retreating. Cold air across the southeastern U.S. going north now. A little bit of a breeze and still cold today, but 35 is better. Partial sunshine. Tonight we'll dip into the teens still, so still pretty cold, and then it's the weekend. We'll get better. Mid-40s sunny Saturday, partial sun Sunday. Upper 40s, maybe well into the 50s by next week. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to the Ingles Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingles Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Just visit ingles-markets.com. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is the Sportsocracy, and I am live at the Ingalls studio. He is live at the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and we are heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the chat, and join us for
a Football Friday.
Indeed, conference championships this weekend in the NFL. Can the Buffalo Bills slay the Dragon?
I do enjoy that NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. What did I have to pay for that plug?
Names on the door. That one was Gratis.
Oh, yeah, I own them both. So, oh, yeah, that's nothing. That's
No,
nada.
That's what we call in the business cross-promotion. And it serves us well once again. The NFLDraft.net project is it's going well. It's going well. Website looks really good, Jeremy. He's got all kinds of information going up about the 2025 NFL Draft prospects. He will have all of the breakdowns of the guys participating in the Senior Bowl up on the website, prospect rankings, all manner of things that you need to get ready for the Draftmas season.
It's a lot.
Keep yourself informed, I should say, during the Draftmas season, because it's not like it's a thing that's not already here. We're fully engorged in the Draftmas season.
I chose the worst time ever to stop paying attention to you.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are
throwing
glad
out
that you
an
are along with
FE.
us.
Like, I didn't see that one coming today.
Sorry. I mean, look, it's 6 to midnight time here with some of these prospects, and Jeremy will have his 6 to midnight list on the website. You should actually do that. You should actually do like a special segment every week or something that is called 6 to midnight.
That's I could make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just spitballing ideas here, trying to help you out here. NFLDraft.net. That is the website. Go and check it out, and you can join the Patreon as well. There will be some special Patreon-only sessions, like after tomorrow's mock draft. Senior Bowl mock draft will be tomorrow at noon on the YouTube channel.
And I do want to give a this is not like a gimmicky thing, and this is the first year that it's worked where I could do it this way. I'm just doing it in draft order. This is basically I'm drafting a high-end prospect that every team should have their eye on at the Senior Bowl. A player that I really like the fit of said player, which is why you'll see a guy like Landon Jackson, who I'm very fond of, that probably will last longer than you would think.
So will be a selection in the mock draft. However, you should not expect him to be a first-round selection in the actual draft.
No, other way around. He'll go later in this than you would think because I think he could be a first-round selection. I'm tying the team to the player more than the player to the ranking.
Okay. Fair enough. With the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders, I feel it's safe to say that those of us who are not fans of those teams have rooting interest this weekend. We're tired of seeing the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And there are many of you who are tired of seeing the Philadelphia Eagles as well. I say many of you because I'm not one of them. I'm not going to be tired of seeing you in a Super Bowl until you win one. Right? Even Buffalo in the 90s. I was like, please, come on, just win one. This has been, not the first couple of years, but the third time, the fourth time, I think we were all on the side of, please, dear God, just win one of these. If it wasn't for the team, it was for one of the players. I liked all the big players from the Buffalo Bills in that day. Right, Jim Kelly was one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. Thurman Thomas, one of the best running backs in the league. Bruce Smith was one of my all-time favorite players.
Oh, Bruce Smith was incredible.
So it got to that point where, like, don't let the Cowboys win another one. It's the Buffalo Bills' turn. They've been here enough times and haven't gotten the job done. But it's because of the four falls of Buffalo that most of us just chalk up that, yeah, they're going to do it again. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to beat them again because this is your lot in life. I can get so close, but in the end, we're going to end out the same way. Sitting at home watching the Super Bowl. This is the best shot you've ever had. I said this last week before the Baltimore-Buffalo game. Like, that game was so important because this is your chance to get them. It's the best chance that you've had in the last 7 years, 6 years, however long it's been. And right now, the only quarterbacks to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs are Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. Josh Allen adds his name to that list. It's going to be a BFD. It's going to be a big deal. This is the moment that can solidify him as an all-time great if he wins a Super Bowl. If not, then you'll continue just to be the guy who can't get there. Which, in the history of the NFL, again, we've had a few of these guys. But you don't want your name to be on that list.
No, you don't. Look, I think we're in a golden age of quarterbacks, and I think we're really in a scenario that this is not the first time we've seen it. I just think it's the first time that we have this many that are this elite. I mean, 10 years from now, there's a great chance that we're going to look at Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson as 4 of the 20 greatest quarterbacks that ever lived. There's not a lot of eras that I can say that. Especially, I believe Mahomes will end up 101. I think Josh Allen may end up in the top 5. Burrow may end up in the top 10. And Lamar could have 3 or 4 MVPs. Now, I do feel like there is a revisionist history with the way we look at quarterbacks that don't pay it off.
Okay.
Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. He also played at the exact same time as Joe Montana, Steve Young, Jim Kelly. People don't seem to take that into account. And I don't love that. I don't love the way that's viewed. When we get into all-time things, I get irritated very, very quickly. Because people don't chalk up the fact that as time has gone on, the talent's gotten better. It's harder to win a Super Bowl right now than it's ever been, and Pat Mahomes just keeps finding a way to do it. That's not an indictment on Josh Allen. It's not an indictment on Lamar Jackson. It's not an indictment on Jalen Hurts. It's not an indictment on any of these guys. He's just that good.
It's just the facts.
He's just that good, and he's got that coach and all of those things. Now, I'm going to tie Kansas City into Philadelphia Because I'll be frank with you, I'm tired of them both. But I'm not tired of them both for the reason that most people think. I don't really care who wins. I have 31, or I have one favorite team and 31 teams that I hate to different levels. Or I'm just completely don't care. I root, as a member of the media, I root for players. Josh Allen needs a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson needs a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow needs a Super Bowl because I know how you're looked at down the line if you don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put Jalen Hurts in that category. He's not that guy. Jalen Hurts is, if Philadelphia wins these next two games, Jalen Hurts will long be looked at as a more athletic version of Trent Dilfer. That team is so good that it didn't really matter who played quarterback, and he made a couple plays predominantly with his feet, got the ball to A.J. Brown in a timely fashion, got it to Devontae Smith in a timely fashion. That doesn't really help anybody. That's why I'm adamantly rooting for Josh Allen and for Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, to me, is an elite quarterback already. I know you're one of those, I have to see it 7 years. I'm a scout and I'm a gambler. I'm not one of those people.
No, I don't.
When I see special, it's special. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't have to see it 7 years. I do need to see it more than 1 year, though.
At the rate that he's playing right now, I don't need to see this moving forward because there's no advantages. All right, so I'll compare it to C.J. Stroud because I feel like C.J. Stroud is one of the things that messes you up in these scenarios.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is one too.
Okay, that's actually both of them play right into what I'm getting ready to say. Do you know what those two had in common in the year that their special was so special?
What's that?
They played two of the 5 worst schedules in the NFL in both those years. Washington didn't have that. Washington beat several good teams. They played in a division that, yes, had the Giants and had a down Cowboy team, but they caught the Cowboys late. That second Cowboy game was later, and they had, I'm not going to say turned a corner, but they were definitely better. You've also got Philadelphia that was in your division. You had to play twice.
Mm-hmm.
And did they have a little bit of luck? Sure. That Washington game was lucky. I could also argue they had some bad luck because they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers for 57 minutes, and the scoreboard didn't reflect that. What I'm seeing with them is replicable. And if Jaden doesn't get one here, okay, you got a long time. You got a long time, and you don't have huge impediments to you. You look at the quarterbacks in the NFC, there are a lot of Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, if he comes back, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff. There's no Pat Mahomes there. There's no Joe Burrow there. There's no Lamar Jackson there. This may be Josh Allen's last great chance to win a Super Bowl. And I trust me, I know that sounds like I'm being hyperbolic because Josh is not that old, but he's the middle point of his career.
Mm-hmm.
You only get so many shots at this, especially playing the way he does. And Josh, the next loss or 2 wins that Josh Allen gets through, the next snap he takes, he will be 29 years old. He will be a 29-year-old quarterback that has already carried the football 759 times. Hey, Tank, what's my rule about running backs? When do they start to age?
I don't remember the
2,000 touches.
2,000 touches, okay.
He is 40% of the way there and has thrown 3,600 passes. I'm not saying he's going to fall off a cliff. That's by no means what I'm trying to say here. I'm just looking around at that team going, it's a little long in the tooth. You got a lot of vet guys that you're going to have to replace. I do believe in the front office. I'll tell you this: I'll never doubt Buffalo ever again. Then again, I think I said that last year and then did it this year. So maybe I will doubt them again.
We did.
Josh Allen's had a special year. To me, he's the runaway easy MVP.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 77.3 QBR. That's insane. And he needs this. He needs this more than anybody in these playoffs, and it's not even kind of close.
Absolutely agree. Which makes me wonder who's going to show up. Is Josh Allen going to show up with the fire of 1,000 suns and just burn this house down? That's what I want to see. I mean, I'm right there with y'all. I want to see Buffalo win. I want to see them finally get that trophy. But I can't doubt Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. The fact that they're able to have a lesser team than what they have been and win the way they've won this year, I can't doubt you at all. Especially against somebody who's never been there. Somebody who's never done it. He's always got Patrick Mahomes standing in his way. Or has always had him standing in his way.
Oh, look, there is a potential but with Josh Allen. He has been historically phenomenal in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever taken a gander at the game logs of Josh Allen in the playoffs. It is dumbfounding to look at how good he has been in the vast majority of these games. You know what the commonality is?
What's that?
Look where they lose. The game that they lose every single year, the completion percentage goes down, the sack number goes up, the interception fumble number goes up. If Josh Allen comes out here and plays the game that I have seen him play time and time and time and time again this year, Kansas City won't beat them.
Yes.
They don't have it in them. I've seen him in one AFC Championship game. It was also against Kansas City. He went 28 of 48. He did have two interceptions, or had two touchdowns, but he did have an interception. He had 4 sacks. It was the second lowest completion percentage in a playoff game he's had in his career.
Mm-hmm.
You know what all the others have in common? He lost them too.
So which one are we expecting? Which one can we expect? Is it going to be the Josh Allen that just makes one mistake too many? And it could just be one mistake. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Could be.
The margins are so thin in this league that it is hard to win. People said the same thing, that they're saying about, Kansas City and as you were saying about Buffalo, it's the hardest to win in this league that it's ever been. The same was said about the New England Patriots, right, during their runs. It's the hardest time in the NFL's history to ever win because they were doing it in a time where you didn't get to keep all your players, right? Doing it in the free agency era was a huge deal. Sometimes there's a franchise that breaks the mold on everything. But one thing they all have in common is that eventually you do get got. Eventually you will slip up. And eventually you'll open the door for somebody else to win that title, right? Brady couldn't win all the titles, so Peyton got one, right? Ben Roethlisberger got one. Eli Manning got 2. Drew Brees finally got one. Right? Josh Allen he's in that Drew Brees company of, I don't know that you're ever going to win a title until you do it. And this is the best chance he's ever had. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Oh, could this vintage...
And we're clear.
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power tool for your project, at Harbor Freight, your dollar always goes further. And these days, when everything seems to cost more, you can take pride in knowing that you get hard-working tools at hard-working prices. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We're starting 2025 with insanely clean carpets from Zero Res. Call to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. And when you mention ESPN Asheville, you'll get a hallway clean for free. Schedule online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains,
Did you say something?
Like you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help, heard on the radio,
You want to just go ahead and do crimes here, then take a break,
making it
and we'll do Philly and Washington.
Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. We can.
Okay.
316-1013.
We're just up against it time-wise.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday Night Rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Hit this a little early here. It's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes. Sorry, I had to hit all 3 buttons at the same time, and I boo-booed.
That's all right. I just want to make sure that we didn't lose you. Mullet coming to us live from the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. I'm Tank Spencer here live in the Ingles studio. Jeremy,
that was one of those that I could have been sitting across from you, and it would have been the exact same problem. So
let's go to Florida, of course, the home of the crimes. We're going to Florida to tell you the story of, Liam Cohen's new home in Jacksonville. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office having to answer some tough questions after the video got released of a Florida police officer shooting a suspect with his own gun, with the suspect's own gun. Actually, I shouldn't say the word suspect because the guy wasn't really a suspect. He had been stopped for a traffic stop, and he informed the officer who pulled him over that he had a weapon in his pocket. Now, in that scenario, the cop doesn't say, hey, take it out and show it to me. Obviously, that's a bad idea. So it's get out of the car, put your hands on top of the car, and we'll remove the weapon for you. Normally, this goes off without incident. However, it went off during the incident. A female officer, a female deputy, because it is the sheriff's office. So a female deputy came and was trying to get the gun out of the guy's pocket, when it went off and shot the guy in the leg. That was a bad move. That was a bad move. Not saying there was a crime committed in that scenario. However, I'm guessing there was some crime done to, have him pulled over. But yeah, the first response after the gunshot went off, the other deputy who was standing behind the man, his first question was, "Are you okay?" And rightfully so, the guy's answer was, "No, I'm not okay.
I'm
he just
bleeding.
Shot me." Quite an unfortunate situation. Just goes to show you, though, I mean, if you are going to carry your weapon, and it's legal wherever you're at, have the documentation, whatever, you follow those gun laws, safe gun laws, keep the safety on. That's a good idea. Just in case somebody else has to reach into your pocket to take that weapon out.
Stephen Towle said it was a speeding, normal traffic stop, complete accident. He's seen the video.
Yeah.
My story...
So, yeah, crime was committed. Speeding, that's a crime.
My story is about the Apple devices. Tank, you and I are both Android people because we don't abide by the cult-like Apple phenomenon. This might be the first time that I have been really sad about that. Because there's a new trend. Have you ever seen those cash for gold commercials where some, I'll say usually seethy individual says they'll buy your gold for cash? This is kind of the same premise. TikTok has been given a reprieve from newly elected President Donald Trump. Gives 75 days to allow more time for an agreement to be made between an American buyer and the TikTok. But one thing didn't change when he gave that reprieve. You can't buy the TikTok app in the Apple Store, so you can't download it because it's not there anymore. And I'll give you one guess what that is leading to around the country.
What's that?
A lot of people that don't have it, whether it's because new phone, whatever the case may be, they lose their phone, the iCloud doesn't back, whatever. As somebody that worked for Verizon, trust me, this happens more often than you think. Well, if you got a new phone, you don't have TikTok, you can't download it. So what are people doing now?
I don't know.
They are selling their iPhones for ludicrous prices because it already has TikTok downloaded.
Oh, of course.
There are thousands of listings on eBay selling used iPhones. I've seen numerous sell for $2,000.
Gee.
One went for as much as $14,000.
Wow.
Because it had TikTok and CapCut already downloaded on it. I enjoy flipping through the TikTok.
What was that other thing you said?
CapCut. It's a thing used to make TikTok videos.
Ah, okay.
Which apparently, I don't at any point in the story see that CapCut is no longer available. I just see it on a lot of these listings, which makes me think it may not be.
Okay. But you can still get it on Android.
Yeah.
Well, crap.
Yeah, not a problem. So, yeah, you and I get screwed on that one. We can't sell our phones for something astronomical.
100% sell this phone for something crazy. Wow.
It's okay. I still don't want an Apple device.
No.
I like my fruit to not already have a bite out of it. I mean, I've never been going through the grocery store. Hey, give me an apple with the bite out of it.
Right.
That's the one I want.
I thought about it when the latest iPhone came out. What are they on, the 15 now? I think is the latest one. And I remember I had to get a new phone recently, and I went down to the store, and the guy was, trying to sell me on, or my wife actually was trying to sell me on the iPhone because she has an iPhone, and she wants me to be able to FaceTime with her. And so I was so close to getting a new iPhone. And then the store clerk looked at me. He said, actually, the Androids, the new ones, they're better. They're better than the iPhone.
They always have been. They always will be, just
That's
so
what
you know.
I've always felt, but.
I always laughed when I actually worked for Verizon when people would come in and buy iPhones, and I would just ask, why do you use an iPhone? Well, because the camera's so good. The camera's actually what Android had 3 years ago. So, But it's 7480 billion megapixels. Do you know what that means? Because I don't think you do.
84 billion? Is that?
I made up a number.
That's a bunch.
What was funny is I never heard the same number from anybody that wanted an iPhone. It's out of 17.8642 pi squared megapixel camera. What does that actually mean? Do you know? It's so clear. Yeah, it's the same camera that Android had 2 years ago. Kind of like that Iridium screen. Yeah, they had that 2 years ago.
Yep.
All of it they had 2 years ago. Actually, I think that's what iPhone does. Hey, let's take the thing off that and put it on this new device and say, oh, it's new. Oh, but when you send a text message, it's green. Who cares? I'm colorblind. I can't tell anyway.
Well, I'm glad you told me that because we'll be selling my wife's iPhone here real soon.
Oh, for
she
sure.
Does have TikTok.
Yeah, if she's got TikTok, you should list that bad boy and just sell her right now. There's one with a broken screen that sold for $2,700 that I saw earlier.
G-bus. You can have it. I
don't care about TikTok that much. I'll read a book while I poop. I don't care. It's not that big a deal.
That I will not do. I will never go back to reading books or newspapers or whatever.
Then go to Instagram. Hey, guess what? Instagram has the same thing. So does Facebook.
I was going to say, Facebook Reels, they're the same thing as TikToks.
Most of them, actually, most content creators post their videos on all three of them at the same time. Ask me how I know that. Because I'm one of them.
Indeed. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, Philadelphia Eagles, and the Washington Commanders. No rookie has ever taken his team to the Super Bowl. Can Jaden Daniels do it? We'll talk about it up next.
This is your Exergen Temp
Clear
cast on ESPN Asheville.
Old Man Winter finally retreating. Cold air across the southeastern U.S. going north now. A little bit of a breeze and still cold today, but 35 is better. Partial sunshine. Tonight we'll dip into the teens still, so still pretty cold, and then it's the weekend will get better. Mid-40s, sunny Saturday, partial sun Sunday. Upper 40s, maybe well into the 50s by next week. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC bowls are back for just $5. Try 5 deliciously different bowls, like the new Nashville Hot Loaded Fry Bowl, or returning fan favorites like the Mac and Cheese Bowl or Nashville Hot Famous Bowl. Packed with all your favorite flavors, they've got your cravings covered.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. How can I help you?
My schedule is crazy. I just want some me time.
We could all use a sanctuary from stress. Why not turn your bedroom into the place to decompress with our selection of comfortable beds, pillows, decor, mood lighting, and so much more? Every time you step in there, it's nothing but me time. I mean, you time.
Sounds like a dream.
Here to make your me time dreams come true. Visit us in-store or at ikea-usa.com/sleep to create a comfy, blissful bedroom today.
Did you apply for FEMA help after the tropical storm Helene and want to know the status of your application or how to appeal an eligibility decision? It's easy to reach FEMA. Call 800-621-FEMA. Does FEMA have your current contact information? If you're not sure, call 800-621-3362 because FEMA may need more information to help you. For in-person help, you can find a disaster recovery center near you at FEMA.gov/DRC.
After what was again the most important year of our lifetime. 2025's got a lot to live up to.
The most important events
of a new year.
Let's be hopeful.
Will happen here.
Who's ready?
On 570 WWNC.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW.
Frozen pizza
General
in the
Manager
oven for
at
after the
Parks
show?
Ford,
That's
Hendersonville.
Detroit's hard to beat, sir.
Parks promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is ESPN Asheville. The Sportsocracy is live on a
Football Friday.
Conference championship games coming up on Sunday. We'll have, of course, Kansas City taking on the Buffalo Bills. That'll be the evening game. 3 o'clock kickoff on Sunday for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders, the rubber match of the series. Philly won one. Washington won the last one. Will Jaden Daniels get the better of the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs? That's the question. No rookie quarterback has ever taken his team to a Super Bowl, and Jaden could become the first. But in order to do it, he's going to have to get past Vic Fangio and that defense. And that's where the big yeah but comes in for me.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not particularly worried about the Philadelphia defense. I am a little worried about Jalen Carter with no Sam Cosmi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about that. I think this comes down to Philadelphia in two places. How hurt is Jalen Hurts? What I saw on Sunday was BA double D bad. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if that's the case, I'm going to do everything in my power to hit him as many times as humanly possible. The other side of it is, how do I stop Saquon Barkley? Because he annihilated Washington twice.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Washington's not been as bad against the run as people think. They only allowed, I believe it was 4 guys to have 100-yard weeks against them the entire season. But Saquon is the yeah but because he succeeded twice. This feels like Philadelphia wins, but I doubted Washington against Detroit, and I'm not going to be as dogmatic about it. I mean, look, what's the question we ask? Who has a better coach?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Washington.
Okay.
If we go coaching staff, now we get into it's closer.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to win a game to save my life, I'd rather have Dan Quinn than Nick Sirianni. Who has a better quarterback? Washington by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Philly is at home, and that definitely helps. But this is another game. I'm not going to be shocked if you see a decent amount of Commander fans in that stadium. You haven't been here in forever.
No, they're definitely making that trip.
Because it's not that long of a trip.
2006, I believe, was the last time they won a playoff game after they beat the Bucs. And you haven't been to a conference championship game since 1991?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. The Commanders fans are they're going to make the trek up to Philly.
Also, if you look at the ticket prices, I think more Philadelphia Eagle fans are selling their tickets than you think.
Really?
I mean, the get-in cost is twice as much. You get in for Kansas City Buffalo for like $200. I think the total get-in price was $228 the last I saw.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost $600 in Washington, Philadelphia. So it's actually more than double.
That makes sense. Because you got more opportunity for those fans to come in.
That's usually a really good sign that a lot of home fans are selling their seats. And usually why that happens is because they're not worried about you. They low-key think, oh, we're just going to win this game because we show up and put our pants on the right direction, and we're saving up our money to get to New Orleans in 2 weeks.
Could be. That could be part of it as well. It's also, wait, you're telling me that I can sell these for $800? Okay. Yeah, well, I'll see what I can get.
Especially when seats in New Orleans right now are going for roughly $10,000 a piece.
Ugh. Ugh. Man, that makes my stomach hurt just thinking about it.
It's okay. We'll look at all those people in New Orleans and go, hey, we're here for no money. And we're not going to see the game, but I'm going to go back to my house and watch it super comfortable.
It's going to be nice. It will be nice. That is true. Way cheaper that way. This is only the where did I see that? The 5th time, I think it said, that division foes have faced off against each other in a conference championship game. It hasn't happened very many times.
It's only the second time it's happened with the NFC East, and both times whoever won this game won the Super Bowl. I saw Patrick Holt commented that in the YouTube chat.
And they're so close in geography that it's a lot easier to demand those high prices because you do have people that are going to make that drive.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have that many people trying to make that drive from Buffalo to Kansas City.
You'd be
not
shocked.
saying that they won't show up.
You'd be shocked. Bill's Mafia travels unlike. I have seen very few fan bases that travel like that. They also have no fear of you, so it doesn't matter how bad, how sketchy your parking lot is. They show up and go, you want to fight? We'll fight with you. These are like Jet fans. When the Jets are good, they travel in droves, and if you want to fight, you will find a fight.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's just how they are. That's how they've been raised. Tough as nails people to deal with the amount of, shenanigans that they've had to put up with as a fan of their team. Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets, they fall right into that category.
Mm-hmm. Bob Brown said there was a third one, Eagles, Cowboys at the Vet in 81, and the Eagles lost to Oakland in the Super Bowl.
Okay. I don't have much faith that Washington's going to be able to stop Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts being hurt, yeah, that does play a big role. If you can get through that offensive line and hit him and make him uncomfortable, then yeah, that's a great strategy to take. The question is, can you execute that?
It's a lot easier said than done.
Do the Commanders have that kind of pass rush that can hit him that many times? I don't know.
They harass Jared Goff a lot.
That is a seasoned offensive line, and
so was Detroit's.
Oh, sure.
Detroit had the best offensive line in the league by any metric you could possibly want.
Mm-hmm.
And Detroit did not hold up against this Washington defense.
Now, the quarterback also turned it over 4 times. So,
but why did he turn it over 4 times? Because they got out in front of you. That's the one thing. That is, to me, the X factor here. If Washington somehow can force an early turnover and get ahead of Philadelphia to where more of the onus goes on Jalen Hurts, you have a shot. If you allow them to just bleed you out, you're doomed. Doomed. I mean, doomed. Because you're asking a rookie to do a lot against a really talented defensive front.
Mm-hmm. And with an injured offensive line, missing a big piece in the middle with Cosme, going against one of the most terrifying young defensive linemen in the league, I can't get away from that. That is a huge advantage.
I don't disagree with you,
Philadelphia Eagles.
But you also have to acknowledge that Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens are both nursing injuries too, and that's a bigger deal than people will let on. Because that's where Washington's going to be able to get to you.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to deal with those 2 tackles, good luck with that. Nobody else has been able to do it. I really don't believe you're going to do it either. But if you've got two interior guys that are not, nobody at this point's 100%. If they're not 70%, and I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know. I know they both appeared on the injury report. That could be the way that Washington can deal with them defensively. I also would be remiss if I didn't point out, and I said this with Jared Goff last week, I'm going to say it with Jalen Hurts this week. There's a bad Jalen that I've seen more than once.
Mm-hmm.
If bad Jalen comes to play, it's all on the table. And if I'm Dan Quinn, that's my only objective. The only thing I care about, I want to pull that out of Jalen Hurts. I want to put this on him. I do not want to lose to Saquon Barkley. I don't care if A.J. Brown has 250 yards in this game. I don't care. I'm going to make Jalen Hurts beat me.
Yep. Patrick Holt, Commanders fan extraordinaire. That's what he says in the YouTube comments. Washington stacks the box and makes anybody but Saquon beat them. Of course, that's the plan. The execution of that is the other side. And even stacking the box, I'm not sure that they won't have something for you. Saquon could do a lot of things. Saquon could take a lot of pressure off as well.
You also have to look at the unbelievable, really hard to wrap your brain around common thread that over the course of this year, it has been shocking how many, and it usually lasts about a quarter and a half, where Nick Sirianni just forgets he has Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part of the game where Washington can take advantage of them. Because as soon as they start turning this over to Jalen Hurts, and I got news for you, they're gonna. They've done it in every game I've watched all year. Every bit of tape I've watched all year long. There is a quarter to a quarter and a half period where Saquon Barkley goes from a touch every 2.7 plays to a touch every 3.9, which doesn't sound like a huge deal, but it is. But it is because it's kind of biased. Because there were games where it didn't happen to that effect. There are times that you'll forget he's there for 2 or 3 drives in a row. And they tend to be 3 and outs.
But it's all going to come down to Jaden Daniels making the plays. And, again, never seen a rookie quarterback do it.
And most of them have been terrible in this situation, too.
Right. Have you seen a bad Jaden Daniels?
No.
Has he had that game where you went, that was not what we were expecting today?
Well, you also have to remember that good Jaden Daniels is the way he gets you is that you have to honor the fact that he can bail out at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference between him and a lot of other mobile quarterbacks, he's got the arm to absolutely drag you down the sidewalk. Look, you look at every other mobile quarterback in this league. I'm not saying they have bad arms. He's got the best of the bunch, and it's not close.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of accuracy, deep ball, all of it. I think Philadelphia's going to win this game. I'm taking Washington to cover. I think this game will be close. And I'm going over the number.
Okay, Philadelphia is a 6-point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That does feel like too much. That does feel like too much.
62% of the money on 68% of the bets is on Washington.
That makes sense.
Money line is 50-50 in money, 2-1 Eagles to Washington in tickets.
Well, because, it's worth a shot. Right, and the money line Washington's plus 225 from what I'm looking at. That's worth a shot, throwing some money at.
I want to acknowledge, Stephen Tao keeps saying Sirianni only has one job because of the tush push. I'll be shocked if that play's run one time in this game.
Really? Well, because Jalen
knee. Jalen Hurts has got a bad knee. Your center's got a bad back, and your left guard's got a bad knee. If he does run that, he's a moron. Because there's a great chance you walk away from that. I've always said that that's one of the biggest problems that Philadelphia has, and they've tried to mitigate that this year and not done it as much. Mm-hmm. Do you find it strange that even though you've done this a limited amount, your thinner center, your thinner guard, and your quarterback, all three have nagging injuries going into the conference championship game? I'm sure that's just a happenstance, that's the three guys that has the biggest impact on. You remember me telling you this last year of the wear and tear on this is the juice is not worth the squeeze.
Yeah.
Well, this is the second time I've now seen this team get to this point and have this problem.
I also remember us getting, talking about this and saying, yeah, but you do realize once Jason Kelce leaves and you no longer have that guy that can squat a Mack truck in front of Jalen Hurts, yeah, you're not going to do this as much.
The play still works. Don't get me wrong. It still works, and it's a cheat code for sure. The only thing you've got to know is going into this game, if Jalen Hurts is in as bad a shape as I think he is, and I watched his entire press conference the other day, he basically said, I'm hurt, and I'm going to be hurt. Just know that you may walk away from that play and have Kenny Pickett playing the rest of the way. Philly Cheesesteak said, I can't remember a single tush push where there was a lasting injury. It's not one individual play. It's the wear and tear over the course of the season. Dude, this ain't hard to figure out. You got a center with a back, a guard with a knee, and a quarterback with a knee. That has an effect. I can't tell you it's all of it, but it certainly has an effect.
Oh, the knees are very important in that play. Mm-hmm. That's the leverage, right? That's why Jason Kelce was so good at it, was because he was so big and those legs were so powerful that he was getting a 2-yard push regardless. So all Jaden had to do was just go right over the top. But you're not getting that kind of push anymore.
It still works tremendously well. Mm-hmm. We have a super chat on the way out here. I'm taking Philadelphia and
go ahead.
I'm taking Philadelphia to win. Washington plus the number over the total. What are you taking?
Yes. All of it.
Same thing I just said.
The things you just said.
Okay, I just wanted it on. I just wanted it on tape.
I'm right there in lockstep with you.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
That's from Stacy Turbeville, who said, if Nakobe Dean was there, I'd sleep like a baby. But since he's out, Austin Eckler scares me to death. Nolan Smith has to have a big game because I think they're going to disrupt Hurts enough. That's a really good comment, and that's why I think this game stays close. Mm-hmm. I just think when the rubber meets the road, you got a rookie that's never been here. Maybe he makes that mistake that he has not been prone to make this year. I don't see Washington winning this game, but I do think it's going to be really, really, really fun to watch.
Yep. And we'll be able to recap it all with you here on Monday. It'll be the start of Senior Bowl week. Jeremy will be with us on Monday, and then he'll be hitting the road going down to Mobile, Alabama. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow on the YouTube for the Senior Bowl mock draft. Mock draft that all of the teams who they need to be eyeing when they're at the Senior Bowl. So not necessarily this is where you should take them in the draft. No, this is who your team needs to be scouting the most at the Senior Bowl. That'll be at noon tomorrow on the YouTube stream with a special Patreon Q&A afterward. You want to get in on all of the fun? Go over to NFLDraft.net. Also, bookmark the Sportsocracy.com. We will see you on Monday with a wrap-up of Conference Championship Weekend. Be safe.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs?
And we're clear.
We are. Kevin Hart here for
10-4.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, services. See dkng.co/audio.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
New year, new financial goals, workout routine, career. Consider a new career with NC Department of Adult Correction. Now hiring correctional officers. Benefits include a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and health insurance. That's right, a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and health insurance. Explore a career in criminal justice and learn what it actually involves. It's a stable and rewarding career. Visit dac.nc.gov/cojobs. dac.nc.gov/cojobs.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Just visit ingalls-markets.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Old Man Winter finally retreating. Cold air across the southeastern U.S. going north now. A little bit of a breeze and still cold today, but 35 is better. Partial sunshine. Tonight we'll dip into the teens still, so still pretty cold, and then it's the weekend. We'll get better. Mid-40s sunny Saturday, partial sun Sunday, upper 40s, maybe well into the 50s by next week. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Apple Tree Superstore.
It's time for special leases at Apple Tree Automotive Superstore. Check out their Hondas, like the 2024 Prologue All-Wheel Drive EX, or the 25 Ridgeline RTL, and the 2025 Civic LX. Apple Tree Automotive Superstore, just off I-26 Airport Road, Asheville, and online at appletreesuperstore.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio.